Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games here again to do a comic book review this week. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nation, number 1. This has 2 stories in it. The first story, which is called Ambush at Area 51, is by Tim Waltz, and I am probably going to not get this artist's name very well. Vincenzo Federici, Federici, and Casey Jones, Agent of the Foot Clan, written by Erik Burnham and Mateus, Santolouco. I think that's how it's pronounced. Now, the good thing about the story is, number 1, so it's kind of a good jumping in point for both these characters. The bad thing is they are referencing things that have been going on in the continuity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story through issue 150, as well as the Secrets of the Foot Clan miniseries that recently came out. Unfortunately, both of which I have not been fully caught up on. But I want to say, I really do kind of get a kick out of the art. I do think the art's a neat little improvement over some of the art that I've seen in some of the Turtle books of late. Raphael is looking, kind of what I would expect him to do in regular clothes. He's working as a bouncer in Arizona at a biker bar, which I pretty much imagine having a turtle as a bouncer is going to discourage people from being too crazy. Of course, guys in alcohol will still do crazy things. So, a couple guys decide that they want to hit on one of the waitresses a little too hard. Raphael steps in. They go to attack him. He handles them rather easily. I was going to say handily, but that's giving them too much credit. Then he's leaving the bar, heading back out on his bike. He's got a little dinosaur pet he calls Pepperoni along with him. And we basically find out in this kind of a traveling montage as to why he is taken off, which is Donatello came back from the events from issue 150, pretty much obsessed with magic, depressed, downtrodden, and Raphael just isn't emotionally evolved enough to handle that. So he took off on the road, and he gets attacked. To be fair, I'm not even sure what this guy's name is. Maybe someone who's been up to date on things, but it looks like a really aggravated robot. And that may or may not be accurate. But he easily handles Raphael and basically threatens to kill Pepperoni unless Raphael comes and helps him infiltrate Area 51. Where that story ends. All in all, it's pretty cool. It sets up what's going on. Doesn't give you a lot of backstory, but just enough to kind of let you know why Raphael's where he's at. So therefore, if you don't know what's going on through issue 150, which I don't, you just get a little glimpse, maybe enough information that makes you want to go read it, but it's not important other than this is why Raphael is out. All right, second story, Casey Jones, Agent of the Foot Clan. I do kind of like the art, especially here on April O'Neil. I mean, she looks like barely out of her teens. Girl, she's in Central Park and she's getting a hold of Casey, who's actually in Japan. I think in Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo. He's at the fish market. And basically, he's taking out a bunch of people, threatening the fish market guys who are paying for the protection from the Foot Clan. And he's working for, I don't know this lady's name very well, but she was the main character of the Secret of the Foot Clan story. Let's see if I can find real quick where it says. Carre. Anyway, she's been acting weird ever since the events of that miniseries have ended, and Casey is kind of worried about her. And he's basically trying to get the Foot Clan to where they're a respectable illegal organization, which is an odd contradiction. I really like the characterization of Casey as this guy who's, just a caring kind of street thug that has kind of a rudimentary to basic understanding of things, but wants to be a good guy. It's kind of a short story. It's only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages long. So, I mean, not a tremendous amount to work with as far as the writing went, but gets this point across. Then, as we cut away after he's finishing up his conversation later with April, they also point out the time differential, which is kind of neat, from Tokyo to New York, which while I've never been to New York, I have been to Tokyo, so I do understand having to allow for time differential for making phone calls and stuff like that. So here she is. We find out here that while she keeps saying she trusts Casey, she's having his private conversations with April monitored because she considers it valuable information. However, there's somebody talking that we can't see to her the whole time, and she's carrying on a conversation with him. And we'd find out this would basically boil down to the equivalent of the angel devil on your shoulder deal. But in her case, it seems to be some sort of Chinese or Japanese dragon. I think it's Chinese, probably. I'm not sure exactly what the influence is there. But, he only shows up in a reflection in the mirror. And, of course, that one's also to be continued. So, pretty neat. I mean, I'm curious to see what goes on further in this story. It seems like we basically have a lot of different arcs going, a lot of different... this turtle is going this direction, this turtle's going that direction, going on in the continuity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that's kind of interesting to see. It is a little watered down by the concept that you need to kind of know what's going on to fully comprehend the entire story. But to enjoy this story, it's kind of like well-told story where the little synopsis kind of gives you where you need to be. Kind of like, if you're a Star Wars fan watching Empire Strikes Back without having seen Star Wars. You don't have to have seen Star Wars to know what's going on, but it is helpful. You don't have to have read the last several story arcs of the main run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it would be helpful. You don't have to read the Secret of the Foot Clan. It would be helpful. But I think they do a good job giving you just the information that's required for what's going on in the story. Both writers do. Anyway, I think it's good. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a Turtle fan. Also, you kind of like almost a more loner type story. Especially the Raphael goes into the kind of the lone wolf type story, or in this case, lone turtle. Check it out. Turtle Power.